We've got one more election left. It's November 6, 2024, and these are your headlines. What a night, right? I'm sure a lot of y'all stayed up late watching the results. Maybe you're a little tired today, but we can take a little bit of time maybe to enjoy what's happening, but we've got another election coming up, and it's one you might not actually be thinking about. The next election on the minds of lawmakers in the Texas Capitol is for the next Speaker of the House. The official vote for Speaker of the House will take place on the first day of the session on January 14th. But the decision may be made long before that as part of the Republican caucus's nominating process. The Republican caucus being Republicans in the Texas House. So the process of Republican legislators nominating a unified Speaker candidate ahead of the official vote at the start of session in January was adopted way back in 2017. At the time, it was an attempt to prevent Republican Speaker candidates like Joe Strauss at the time, from courting Democrat support for the position. In the years since, however, both former Speaker Dennis Bonnen and the current Speaker Dade Phelan have released lists containing Democrat support ahead of the caucus vote. It makes the exercise a formality. This year, it looks like it'll be different, though. Multiple candidates announced plans to challenge Dade Phelan, largely based on disagreement with his policy of placing Democrats in leadership positions, and more broadly, to allow Democrats to have outsized influence over the Republican legislature. In September, a group of reform-minded current and incoming Republican members of the Texas House met to consolidate their support around a single challenger. State Representative David Cook received the endorsement of 48 Republicans. That's a majority of the Republican caucus, which will have 88 Republicans out of 150 members when they are sworn in January. So the caucus vote, that's going to take place now, we know, on December 7th. Ahead of the session. To clinch the caucus's nomination, multiple rounds of votings take place during a secret ballot. It's a little bit of a complicated process. Essentially, the winner has to receive a supermajority of support during voting. It goes from a 2/3 threshold to a 3/5 threshold if somebody doesn't get support within those first couple rounds. Now, if Cook is able to clinch the Republican caucus nomination, the path will be uphill, to say the least, for Speaker Phelan, as he will need the votes of at least 15 Republicans, if not more, to defy the caucus and join Democrats to support him. The Speaker candidacy of Democrat Ana Maria Ramos, who's expected to get at least a few Democrat votes if she takes her election all the way to January, makes the math even more difficult for Dade Phelan. Well, we mentioned the elections, of course. If you missed it, I don't know how you did. Well, actually, me and Michael earlier today spent some time going over the election results, not just nationally, but in Texas and down ballot and what that means. And essentially, short of it is it was a massive red wave for Republicans. Not only did President Donald Trump win Texas, and of course, we know the other states to win the White House, but Ted Cruz improved on his margin over in 2018 over Beto O'Rourke, this time against Democrat Colin Allred, winning by at least 9 or 10 points, it looks like now. In the Texas Senate, you have Adam Hinojosa, who beat Democrat Morgan LaMantia. And in the Texas House, you're going to have 2 new Republicans taking seats that were formerly held by Democrats. Don McLaughlin taking a seat in Uvalde, and Denise Villalobos taking a seat formerly held by a Democrat in Corpus Christi. These 2 pickups, bringing that number from 86 to 88, are going to have a huge impact on the legislature. And as I previously mentioned, the math that it takes to be Speaker of the House. Aside from just the legislature, you also had massive Republican gains in the Court of Appeals in Dallas, as well as some judicial seats in Harris County, as well as lots of school bonds, tax increases being voted down. We have a lot of that coverage at our website. You can check out those election results from across the state.
Are you worried about your kid's future? You should be. I'm Charles Blaine with Texas Tomorrow. This is a show where we're going to talk about the issues and the people that are pushing the policies that concern your family, your home, and your kids. Catch Texas Tomorrow every Thursday.
Last up, something not election related. A recent study of sports gambling finds that it has a destructive impact on households and long-term financial well-being, a trend that increases when the practice is legalized. That's according to research titled Gambling Away Stability. It says that legalizing sports betting has an expected effect on populations, namely, quote, sports betting spreads quickly with both the number of participants and frequency of bets increasing over time. And the betting behavior was found to reduce savings as risky bets crowd out positive expected value in investments. In September 2024, The Atlantic reported that for every dollar gambled on sports, $2 are diverted from investment. As other recent research has confirmed, online gambling outlets prey on the vast majority of bettors' biases and lack of skill while excluding skilled bettors from wagering. Keeping the pool of players filled with losers points to the predatory nature of the enterprise. Bettors who take part in sports gambling are pre-existing gamblers. According to the study, sports bettors are 4 times more likely to have played the lottery. And Mitch Little, who Republican candidate for House District 65, who won last night, called the Gambling Away Stability paper important and said it confirms what we already thought to be true, that Democrats want to use gambling to grow government on the backs of our most vulnerable citizens. He told Texas Scorecard that Republicans need to decide now whether they want to co-sign one of the largest wealth transfers in history from our most needy citizens to a few winners while leaving only negative economic effects in their wake. For more of today's stories, go to texasscorecard.com.